What's going on, gamers? Obscure Edge here, and today we're going to be talking about the Warlord. So basically, I'm going to go in depth of what I've done with the build. I'm not followed any sort of other video or anything. I've experimented, done a little bits and pieces, and tried different things. Lost a lot, which always helps you kind of develop your build a little bit better. So let's get right into this. Obviously, any build that I'm doing a video on is going to be max level builds. All right. So we all know what she gets on the side here. I'll quickly scroll over them. So that way you guys, if you want to pause the video. Alright. So this is all basically based on her ability. So I start off with Blood Splatter, increase the fear of affected survivors. And then I go 2 gross to run, which is 1. And then I'll just go through them all. 3 out of 3 there. 3 out of 3 there. All the way up to here. As well, remember you have like a kind of a skill tree you kind of have to follow, so you might not be able to go, you won't be able to go boom, 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 boom. You have to do the lower ones here as well. This build basically is to be all about being aggressive with your light attacks and your light enemies. Nothing here is regarding heavy. I have done a build like that, but with all the CC and everything, and the balance bar damage you were taking, it was better just to overwhelm them with the lights, which seems to be my route for most of the part, with a lot of my demons as well. So this is the build I went for. I also did buff Henrietta because she does do a lot of damage, and especially with the book, you have the gas, which does a lot of CC. Keeping them coughing and stuff around that book, meaning you could swing, but they can't, which is always good. This is obviously since patch 2013, so the book has 5% more health, which does make things a little bit harder for you. But the main thing is you're going to be overwhelming them with basic attacks, basic enemies. And you'll put into, when you're playing the game, you'll still put a point into an elite, so you could still spawn them in during the objectives. But your main focus is going to be your light enemies. And possession as well. So keeping possessed of your enemies as long as you can. You could take over survivors, do a little bit of damage, and then switch back to your lights. But mainly, this build is all about relying on the lights, which is basically, I would say, 80% of the build. And the last maybe 10% is taking other people over, and 10% using Henrietta in certain ways, because you can only spawn Henrietta so many times in a match, time you level up and everything else. So the main thing about your build, it has to be something that you could use frequently, which is obviously possession, taking people over, as well as your basic enemies. So we have stuff for the basics like maximizing their health, maximizing their damage, as well as evil units gain health from damage they deal by melee attack, which keeps you in the fight longer. So you could do swing, 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 run around, and then swing, 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 gain some of your health back, things like that. Using the puke to give them a bit of CC, allowing them not to be able to move, heal, dodge, things like that. Since the 2013 update, keep in mind we have a more aggressive AI, which I have played quite a few games, and I could see them taunting a lot less and attacking a lot more. So the more enemies keeps them guessing, keeps them kind of worrying about different things, getting a lot of enemies on the ground, and then obviously popping your skill, which will then obviously utilize all your extra stuff here. So keeping your minions and obviously keeping them in the fight longer. The good thing is like you could pop that, and then if you take over a light enemy, that effect is now carried on the light enemy you're playing as. It works for Henrietta as well. So usually I'll drop in a heavy, which will grab their attention, like, oh crap, a heavy, and then I'll go light, 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 drop a Henrietta with my skill procced. Everyone's getting buffed, everyone's getting hit, and then I'm CCing them with the gas as well as doing some swings. But obviously this build might not work for you. You might do a heavy build, or you might do a mixed build. This is a personal preference build. This is not something I followed. But I just want to show you guys, if you've maxed up a demon and you're still struggling, since 2013 update, things are a bit more balanced, especially seeing how the health glitches fix things like that. So hopefully this build could kind of give you that edge in the fight. Some people will also maybe take stuff out of the lights and put it into the timers for your skills and stuff like that, which does help. But personally for me, I don't use too many of the skills besides the puke, and I only do the puke when I'm basically right behind them. I could puke them all, or if I'm so CC'd, I could pop out a puke and I'll do a Beyblade spin and hit everyone with it. Main thing is, though, is doing test of time, keeping those objectives going as well. I think that pretty much covers this build. Like I said, basically, if you have different thoughts in the comments or any questions, please drop them. Keeping it short and simple. This is what I believe to be working for me. I'm winning most of my games, if not all of the games now, since the 2013 update with this build. Like I said, keeping that puke on them, CCing them, and then going in with a bunch of lights, swiping them. It keeps the pressure up as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And until next time, happy gaming, and I'll see you on the next one.